everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had a really great new year. I know that it has been a little while since I have last filmed a video, but I am back today and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my little pre-vacation tanning routine. So basically, when I'm going on vacation to a place that is more tropical or beachy, I generally like to start my little tanning process before I go on the trip. So there are two reasons as to why I do this. Number one, I am a naturally very pale person, and I just like to have a little bit of color before I go because it just makes you feel better to be tan and when you're in a tropical place. So I like to be tan. What are you doing? You can't open the door like that. Yeah, you're fine. And then number two is, since I'm so pale, I also burn really easily. So the worst thing ever, which this is how my vacations always would go when I was younger, is I would go and the first day I get there, I lay outside and I burn, and then I'm miserable the rest of the trip. So when I have a bit of a base tan or a little bit So when I already have a little bit of a base color, then I don't burn when I'm actually out in the sun. So I like to start myself off slower before I go on the trip, and then when I get there, I'm not going to be as likely to burn and be miserable the entire time. So that is why I like to start beforehand. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the lotions and stuff that I use for the different various occasions and how I tan before I go on my vacation. Okay, so I would say that this kind of process that I do before my vacation is about a 5-day process, I would say. So typically about 5 days before I go on my vacation, I will start this process, and I start off with tanning beds because that is where I actually get my base tan, because getting that actual base tan from the rays is what helps me not burn so bad when I go on vacation. So since it is winter right now, I kind of step back and don't tan as much, really ever, just because I don't mind being pale in the winter. So obviously my base color is very pale. So when I go tan for the first time, I don't want to come out completely dark all of a sudden and have this huge drastic change. I like it to look as natural as possible. So I've mentioned this before, but my first lotion that I will use the first day when I go tanning is a maximizer, and this is my favorite one. It is called Blonde Obsession by Devoted Creations, and it's just a white lotion, so it doesn't add any extra color to you. Whatever tan you get is the color of your actual skin being tanned, but this does still help hydrate your skin and keep it healthier while you are tanning. So typically on the first day, I will go into a bed that has UVA and UVB rays, split half and half, and I will do about 8 minutes or so, depending on the bed, but I won't go the full time basically. I'll keep it kind of lower since I haven't tanned in a while, and I'm just trying not to be super burnt all of a sudden. So then the next day I will go tanning again, and I will do most likely the full time in the bed because I typically don't have an issue with that, but really just base it off of your skin, how you think you're doing. If you burnt the first day, maybe don't go the full time, just kind of play it by ear and see how your skin is reacting to the tanning bed. But the next time that I go, I will use a lotion with a bronzer, and this one actually has a very dark bronzer, and I'll explain the reasoning for using something with a pretty dark bronzer in a second. But this lotion is called Matte Black, and it is also by Devoted Creations, but as you can see, it has a really dark bronzer in it. It's pretty black, so this will actually dye your skin too. It has the DHA in it, and it has that cosmetic color that will actually put more color onto your skin, so you do definitely get darker with using a lotion like this. But typically when I use this one, even after using just a maximizer, I don't notice a crazy big difference, but it gives me the perfect amount of tan color that I want for my next step. So I really only use the tanning beds for 2, maybe 3 of the days before I go tanning. I don't tan consistently every single day. I just do it for 2 or 3 just to give myself a base color so that I won't burn. But then after that, I typically just switch to a self tanner. This is the one that I use. It is called Selfie Tan and Go, and it looks like this. I've done a review on all of these lotions actually already, but these are just the ones that I use in this routine. But the reason why I do this is because, number one, it gives me a faster color. It's more instant. It's literally just putting color on your skin, so you don't have to wait for a tanning bed to work its magic and actually tan you. So it does work a little bit quicker. And then number two, since I am a little bit more prone to burning in the sun, this does mask the redness because your skin is already a different color, so when you do burn, it just kind of hides underneath the color, if that makes any sense. So I typically switch to this, and this is in the color medium dark tan, so that is why I use a darker lotion, because going from my super pale complexion naturally to something like this, it's a really drastic change. So it makes it a little bit more of a smoother transition if I go from a maximizer to a lotion with some color in it, but it doesn't actually stain my skin super dark. And then this is just a straight up stain on your skin, so it is dark. So that is kind of my transition. So with this, I will put this on probably 2 days or so before I leave for my vacation. And how this one works is that you put it on and then you can kind of help pick what shade you end up being or how dark you end up being. It tells you on the back of it what like when to rinse it off or how long to let it set before you rinse it off, depending on what color you want. So I typically will just go for the whole, I think the maximum is 5 hours. Well, you can leave it on for as long as you want after 5 hours, but it says to get like the darkest one, leave it on for at least 5 hours. So I typically will do that because I want it to last as long as possible. So that is why I put it on 2 days before, so that the next 2 days, sometimes it looks a little bit rough, like if I didn't apply it correctly or I got a little bit streaky with it, I wasn't careful. It gives it like 2 days to kind of set, and you can shower and like scrub at it a little bit, and then it looks a lot more natural, and you're ready to go show it off on your vacation. So that is what I do before I go on vacation. And then while I'm there, when I'm actually out laying in the sun and stuff, I have 2 lotions that I typically alternate between. I have a couple more, but these are my favorite ones that I have found. Both of them are, once again, well, this one's by Devoted Creations. This is by Ed Hardy. The first one, I've talked about this so much, is my favorite outdoor tanning lotion. It is called Somewhere on a Beach. It's actually almost gone. I'm kind of sad about it. But first of all, it smells so good. It smells so tropical, like coconuts, but it does have a bronzer in it, as you can see, so it does give you some color. And this one also, I believe, actually gives you like a little bit of shimmer, so it looks really pretty when you're laying out in the sun and you're like shining. But yeah, this one does add some instant color, so it does help give you a little bit of a boost in your tan. And people always ask me whether or not these outdoor tanning lotions have SPF in them, and they do not, but I never had a problem with burning while using these though. I don't know if it's because I tanned beforehand and I had a little bit of a base tan, so I wasn't like as prone to burning, but I have never burnt while using these outside, so that's a plus. But yeah, this is one that I'll use a lot, and then I alternate it with this one that is Sun Swept, and this one also does have the bronzer in it. If you can see, it has a little bit of a dark bronzer in it. My reason for alternating them is because this one has a little bit more of like a cooler toned brown in it, and this one has a little bit more of a warm tone, so I feel like it kind of balances it out nicely, and so you don't end up looking orange, because the warmer tones I feel like can tend to make your skin look a little bit more orange, because it kind of has like that orangey pinky undertone to it. So I like to switch them and alternate them every other day or so, just so that I'm switching it up and my skin, number one, isn't getting immune to it, and number two, is getting a good mix of color. I noticed that when I use the outdoor lotions, they're not completely necessary. Like, people obviously can tan without them. I never used to use them when I was younger, but they definitely keep my skin more hydrated. And when you're out in the sun, especially in like places that are closer to the equator and the sun is a lot harsher, it really helps to have the lotion to help moisturize. Just like if you were in a tanning bed, that's what the lotion is there for, to help moisturize your skin and just keep it a little bit healthier while you're laying out there. I mean, I'm not saying that laying in the sun is healthy for you, but if you're gonna do it, these are like some precautions you can take and just a couple extra things you can do in order to make it not so harsh on your skin. All right, everybody, so that is it for my little pre-vacation tanning routine. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye!